It's a tragic story that makes headlines often in the summertime. A child or even an animal left inside a hot car. The Ohio Senate acted and voted to provide civil immunity so a person could not be sued for acting to save a life.
If you're walking in a store and you look over and you see a baby that's sitting there in a car and it's locked, nobody's around, and the car is not running or anything, people can, these children can really be harmed. It's important we have this common sense approach to save that life.
Giving a voice to the little ones who can't speak for themselves. It's a major initiative from Voices for Ohio's Children, focusing on EPSDT services. That stands for Early and Periodic Screening, Diagnostic and Treatment Services, managed through Ohio's Medicaid program. State Senator Shannon Jones is an advocate for improving Ohio's infant mortality rate, and early intervention pays off in many ways.
The earlier we can diagnose them and, more importantly, connect them to services, the better off they are, the better off their families are, certainly the better off the health care and the school systems are, and really the data tells us the better off the taxpayer.
The statistics that 85% of a child's brain develops by the time that they're 3 years old is something that's not a state-level statistic, but certainly something that we can learn from. Early periodic screening, diagnosis, and treatment is that afforded benefit package so that we can get kids the services that they need in those early days.
Some of those children might one day not only be college graduates, but also could serve as LSC fellows. The Legislative Service Commission is taking applications for college grads interested in government to work in the offices of state senators and representatives. The deadline to apply is April 1st, and to learn more, log on to lsc.ohio.gov/fellowship. It's a 13-month paid fellowship program with 20 openings.
Our LSC fellowship program, it is a real learning experience. It's hands-on. They get to work in actual members' office, including my office. I strongly encourage people who are interested and qualified to come out. We have found very high-quality individuals over the past, and a number of those individuals have gone on to do other things in state government, from being the director of the Bureau of Workers' Comp, being a state senator, and even one governor of the state of Ohio who's currently running for president.
This week, we welcome a brand new senator to the Ohio Senate, and we welcome back the very popular sales tax holiday. State Senator Kevin Bacon's bill passed, bringing the holiday back to August 5th, 6th, and 7th.
It turned out to be true. After we did the sales tax holiday, in fact, people did take advantage of the holiday. We had numerous counts of people saving money that really helped them at a very expensive time in their lives. And the proof was in the pudding with the businesses. The businesses told us that they had an increase in sales, even many, even larger than what they expected.
The Senate swears in a new member. Bob Hackett served as state representative for 4 terms and was nominated and approved as the new senator from the 10th District, representing Springfield in the Clark County area. Senator Hackett grew up right next door and looks forward to representing the district for the rest of this year and running for a full term next year.
There's really 2 major issues. I think the issue we've always worked on, I'm a businessman, I've really pushed for jobs and creating the best economic environment for companies to operate on, really grow the economy, et cetera. But also, I think that what's really concerned a lot of us in my district and all over the state is the heroin crisis. So those are 2 issues, tremendously different, but boy, 2 issues we really need to put a lot of time in to see if we can reach a solution.
Bob Hackett's a great guy. He's a hardworking legislator. He's got the support of his constituents. I look forward to many years of him representing his district.
Welcome to beautiful and historic Marietta, Ohio, the first settlement of the Northwest Territory, settled in 1788. It is also the host of this year's State of the State address with Governor John Kasich.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to present the Governor of the great state of Ohio, John Kasich. The pioneering spirit of those early settlers remains alive, of course, in Marietta today.
Marietta preserves its history as well as its brick streets. Built in 1919, the newly renovated and historic People's Bank Theater played home to this year's State of the State.
The state of our state is getting stronger every day, and the outlook is bright and hopeful here in the Buckeye State.
The governor talked about how Marietta in 1788 became the model for the rest of the state and how today Ohio's economic rebound serves as a model for the country. That model, in part, is based on taxpayers keeping more of their own money in the last 5 years.
We went to work cutting taxes by $5 billion, more than any other state.
New business brings the need for a qualified workforce. The shale industry brought new investment to eastern Ohio. The Washington County Career Center partnered with Pioneer Pipe for a state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar welding lab. It prepares young students with the high-paying skills needed today. Now, if I said to you, can you roll nickels? Does that have any meaning to you whatsoever?
Yeah, like stacking dimes, you mean? Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know, it just depends. Like, if you're welding a certain thing, it looks like a bunch of dimes stacked up together, and I don't know, it looks pretty sweet.
Jeff Thiemann is such a good welder, he'll soon compete in a statewide welding competition.
Welding has come a long ways in the last several years, especially with the oil and gas boom that's on. As you can see, these students are practicing on pipe. They will test. There'll be an X-ray quality test. They have to be 100% X-ray quality. We have a 100% pass rate with them. It's been phenomenal.
When you talk about somebody who, as a welder, makes more than some lawyers, the reality is let's make sure we're providing people opportunities to do whatever their God-given talent leads them to do. We can make Ohio work for everyone.
Certified welders serve a critical need in the energy industry. Technology keeps generating new and exciting opportunities for the energy field. Marietta College received its charter back in 1860 and is internationally known for its petroleum engineering school, a unique quality for a liberal arts college.
Students can expect mentorship as well as in-class education from us.
K-12 education performs at a high level in Washington County, including Fort Fry High School in Beverly. That's where Senator Bill Coley graduated from and was proud to talk to students at his alma mater as part of the State of the State events.
We want the kids to see that, there's no magic to this. This is just, we're regular citizens just like them, and they're going to be in our seats in the very near future, and we want them to start thinking about what it takes to make the decisions that we make every day on the floor of the Ohio Senate.
But in the end of the day, we're doing better in Ohio now than we were just 5 years ago. And we've got a lot of opportunities, things to continue to work on. We're going to keep working.
Kind of gave us a few lines, and we, sniffed that up, and both of us sat out back and looked at each other and said, oh, wow, so this is how this is, It was like we had arrived.
In 2012, we were experiencing an unprecedented and unexpected spike in overdose deaths. In 2010, 2011, we had 2022. And all of a sudden, in 2012, it jumped to 60, OxyContin, Percodan. Suddenly, we were dealing with an epidemic. Everybody clamped down on the distribution, doctors' perspective from the pharmacies. Somewhere along the line, many of these people changed to heroin. We brought together the other law enforcement agencies within the county, along with the county coroner, with the express purpose of talking about this epidemic that we were experiencing and what could be done about it. And we had done some research as to what other communities in the country were doing, and we ran into a program that Quincy, Massachusetts was running, where they had distributed nasal Narcan to each of their officers out in the streets. We said we were ready to start doing it the next day. That wasn't permissible because the state law didn't allow for police officers as first responders to carry Narcan. I wrote a letter to Senator Gail Manning and asked for her help.
They're the ones that came to me and said, we want to have a pilot program where first responders can carry Narcan. And they'd been trying to do it through the Ohio Pharmaceutical Board and not having much success because they said they had to change the law. So I was more than happy to sponsor Senate Bill 57 that passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. And I remember getting that first phone call from Chief Rivera and said, we saved our first one. And it kind of gives you goosebumps, when you hear that and realize that you've made a difference. And I know, whenever I make these decisions, I think of my own family. And you sit there and think, if that was my kid, I want somebody to do something to save him.
My name is Brent Payne, patrolman with the City of Lorain Police Department. I love working for the City of Lorain. It used to be that crack cocaine was the big thing that you would see. Now it's heroin. On many of these calls we've responded to, they're blue, they're not breathing, or it's shallow breathing, but this Narcan brings them right back. Well, I can just flip open my pocket, reach in, grab everything, and a lot of the times if I know it's a heroin overdose, I'm already popping off the caps and inserting it before I get into the house. Not about the victim, it's about the family members, their children, the mothers, the fathers that are watching their son, their daughter lay there on the floor and die.
And it shows you a little bit of everybody in there. Siloed, you know who that is. I've had it administered 3 times. Within the past year, within the past 12 months, 2 times it was police, once it was the paramedics. You know, without it, I can say probably I would not be here, sitting here giving you this interview. When the overdose happens, you just simply feel like you're going to sleep, or an instant blackout. But there's no return eventually if you're gone for too long. When the Narcan was administered, I immediately woke straight up, you know, kind of in a daze, what's going on. To me, I didn't know that I had possibly taken a lethal dose, you know, or had mixed a lethal combination. I was just getting high. And I went through a lot of loss, you know, because of this drug. I'm sober now, no longer have to live that life. Now, moving forward, as I mentioned, I can have the ability to help, you know, people my age or younger, or even older, but just people that are afflicted with this disease that have had enough and are looking for recovery. What these politicians and these police officers are providing is a second chance. Substance abuse, heroin in particular, does not have to be a way of life.
Hopefully what we want is for them to realize that they almost died and come to grips that they need to address their addiction.
In the meantime, in order to save all these young people that are dying, I think, you know, having that first responder, being able to carry this is great.
Thank you.